Hey everybody, David aka RVJedeye, and I am actually tearing down, getting ready to go home. But I just wanted to share something with you, something that just happened, and something that I thought was kind of special and a little important. Yesterday, while I was here, I was sitting out in front of my RV and cooking dinner and just kind of relaxing. A gentleman, a white gentleman, came up to me. He was staying with his wife in a pop-up tent, just a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 sites away. Came up and we had a great conversation. He just said hi, I said hi, and we just started talking. Turns out he was, I think, 65, retired or about to retire. He had spent time in the military at one point. I said, congratulations, thank you very much for your service. And he was like, well, you don't have to. And I said, no, I really appreciate it. But we just had a great conversation. We talked about camping and RVing and how he and his wife love their tent pop-up camper. And then at one point he might want something like mine because it wasn't too big and it had slides, and at 29 feet you can get in and out of everything pretty much. So we had a great conversation. It was nice. He was a nice guy, and that was it. So this morning I was wrapping up breakfast and he knocked on my door, and I came out, and he asked when I was leaving, and I said, well, just in about an hour or so. And he was like, oh, that's a bummer, because my wife and I were trying to go out kayaking before the bay gets too rough, and I just wanted to have a conversation. I just don't get a chance to do this a lot, and it was good to talk with you. And so we talked a little bit, and then you could see that he wanted to bring up something, and I just kind of let him keep going, and he wanted to talk about how I grew up and race in general. He grew up in Mississippi. I think he grew up in Minneapolis, lived in Mississippi at one point, and now splits time between Minneapolis and Wisconsin, and I think they RV a lot. But he just wanted to have an open and frank conversation about everything that was going on kind of in the world today. Black Lives Matter. He wanted to talk a little bit about that. He just wanted to talk about race in general, and we had a good conversation. He and I were talking for a little bit. His wife then came over and listened. She was hoping that they could get out to the kayak a little earlier, but he wanted to have this conversation, and we talked about a lot of things. I grew up in the East, right next to Boston. I've lived in California. I've lived in the South, in Memphis. So I had a unique perspective I have a unique perspective on different parts of the country, and he just wanted to have a conversation. And I think that was the most important thing for me about it all. This is where things can change. When we have conversations, even small, that grow into larger ones, that we can address and learn things from all sides. One of the things I told him about RVing for me is that I love it. It's a passion for me. And I hoped that at some point, maybe there is another young person, a person of color, a young person who just sees me and says, hey, I want to RV too. And they see somebody like me doing it, and maybe they'll want to do it as well. I will say, for the most part, the RV community has been very good to me. I have not had any overt racism shown to me. There have been a couple of times where I was at some locations that I maybe felt a little uncomfortable at first, and only one time where I completely turned around. But again, for the most part, the RV community has been really good to me. I appreciated him coming over and having a conversation. I appreciated being able to talk, learn about him, and hear a little bit about his experiences from Mississippi. And most importantly, I was hopeful that our little conversation will resonate with him. It resonated with me and his wife, and perhaps he will have a conversation with somebody else at some point, and I will continue to have conversations with people, and together we will share our thoughts and opinions about things moving forward. I have law enforcement friends. I have people who are in the Black Lives Matter movement as well. Everyone has a voice. Everyone has to listen, and that's the most important thing. We have to listen, have these conversations, and talk about it. Today was really special. It was just a small step, a small little moment of two people from different sides of the aisle, different races, having a conversation, and to me that's the most important thing, that we continue to have conversations. Let me know what you think. Post your comments in this link below. I will respond to them, and if anything else major comes up and I think that I need to share or feel like I want to share, I will. Remember, you can follow me all over social media at RVJedeye, and then of course you can follow me on my blog at RVJedeye.com. Thank you very much for just spending some time. And folks, let's just listen. Let's talk. Let's share. It's so important. Have a great day.